Good afternoon. Driving home, and I just needed to kind of get some thoughts out of my head, because I just had my doctor's appointment, and I'm still processing my thoughts on it. But my doctor was very willing to order medication for me. She felt like that would be great. She's familiar actually with people doing microdosing, but she is not familiar with any compound pharmacies that in the area that would give smaller doses of the medication. They're not FDA approved. So the big question would be at that point, is that something I could get a hold of? And that'll be a question I ask later, but she put in the order for Zepbound, and literally 5 seconds after I ended my phone call with her, because she put the prescription in while she was on the phone with me, my pharmacy called, and they're like, "Hi, we just got a prescription for you, and we want to ask you if you actually want it." And I went, "What? Actually want it?" And I said, "Well, yes, but why wouldn't I?" And she goes, "Well, some people don't want us to fill it because it's not covered by your insurance." And I'm like, "Okay." And the doctor had said that might be the case. And I was like, "Okay, well, let me have it. You know, how much is it per month if it's not covered by my insurance?" And she said that it was $1,200. It was at $1,200 and some odd dollars. It might have even been closer to 13, like $1,271 or something. I don't know. It's $1,200, whatever. It's so high that obviously people would not be able to afford that. And so I was like, okay, well, she had mentioned to me, my doctor had mentioned to me, by going to their website, you can request a copay card, something along the lines of they will, pay for a portion of it. So I went to the website and I filled out their little card thing, and they approved it right away. And they ran it at the pharmacy for me, and the pharmacy said that the copay wouldn't work until Blue Cross Blue Shield paid their portion, and Blue Cross Blue Shield won't pay for it, so they're going to have to go and seek a prior authorization. But from what I understand in reading the paperwork on the copay, I think the comment that was made on there was, you can get this for as low as $550 a month for a savings of $7,000 blah 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 a year. And I went, holy cow, like over $500 a month for this. So that's obviously not an option. So then I was like, okay, I asked the pharmacy girl, I was like, okay, great. Well, doctor said that if that was not authorized or approved, then we could go to Wegovy, which is just a different semaglutide, which it's just a different, there's a couple different ones out there. And it acts a tiny bit different, but yeah, it's closer to the Ozempic. Anyways, they they ran it through my insurance, and they're like, well, they actually cover this. And I'm like, yeah, they cover $80 of it. And I went, okay, which leaves $1,500 per month. So I'm not that bothered. Okay, that's not true. I mean, I'm bothered. I'm frustrated because I'm frustrated for myself, but I'm also frustrated for other people who might be seeking help. And it's making me evaluate all the reasons why I want help, all the reasons, why it might be good for me. And there are a lot of thoughts going through my head. But the first thing is frustration, because after listening to a lot of podcasts and hearing about what's going on nationally versus what's going on internationally, America, the United States, is not like they're the only ones charging this level of like ridiculous amount of money. So for them to get that, that's crazy. So that speaks volumes to the drug companies, and it is, and the thing is, it also speaks volumes to the desperate nature of why people are using this, and it's something that if they don't change their lifestyle, maybe something that they could actually be on for the rest of their life. So it's just crazy, that amount of money. They're not paying that amount in other locations. So that was interesting and frustrating to me. The other thing that was frustrating to me is how okay, I'm not poor, I'm not rich, I'm not poor though, and my husband and I own a house, we're working towards full ownership of a home, all these things. So that's amazing, right? I don't have $1,200 or $1,600, or I'm sorry, $1,500 to spend, much less, I don't have $500 to spend. I have $500 a month, but I'm not going to spend it on that. That is it's not appropriate at all. And it's not an issue of me absolutely needing it. It's asking for a tool to help, which makes me kind of wonder, okay, well, do I really need it? And also it makes me kind of wonder too about the future, and as I feel like it's being gatekept. The number of people I've been listening to that have been speaking about the positive effects of it and how it works on a number of things, and it being, although it's synthetic, it's still being a synthetic form of something that your body actually creates and that you typically have a shortage of, and all of that. It makes me wonder if they're gatekeeping it, because if you didn't take that, then you would stay sick, and you would stay overweight, and you would still struggle with diabetes, and all those things are more and more drugs, more and more, and just the whole thing kind of overall makes me kind of frustrated, kind of mad. I don't understand how people can afford to do that. So it's interesting. Kind of reminds me of also times when I've made enough money to pay all my bills and raise my kids and everything, but when I worked for a private company, and I didn't have great insurance, and I had to pay for my family. If I had to pay for my family, I would have been paying $1,500 a month for my family to have insurance, and I would have had it was crazy high deductibles on each one of them individually, and we literally at that point couldn't afford, they paid for my insurance, but they wouldn't pay for my family unless it was $1,500 a month. And it's kind of one of those feelings right now where I'm oh, okay, so you do all the right things and you work really hard, but insurance is so expensive, and that's because the things that insurance pays for are so expensive, and I literally am how do people do this? And I'm in the medical field, and I'm quite conservative, but man, is one area that needs some work. But anyways, I said all that to say I won't be getting that, and it looks like those are, things that probably aren't going to be in the future for me. It also makes me wonder if maybe, they'll get cheaper. It makes me wonder about whether or not I have the option to go to someone who would order compounded medications for me. So I don't know. Those are all options. How do I find that out? But yeah, obviously not going to happen. It's really funny. A few years ago, again, I've been struggling with my weight for a really long time, and both of my parents, I come from a family of obesity. Both of my parents significantly obese, and both of my parents in their later years, and it makes me wonder how long, probably in their 60s, they had gastric bypass, and maybe late 50s. I really don't know how old they were when they had their gastric bypass, so I'm gonna have to actually look into that. But they had their gastric bypass later in life, but I'm getting probably close to the age where they did it, and that was the answer for the day, and they had to pay out of pocket for that. They went with a program, and they've suffered some consequences from it. I do feel like their lives were prolonged. I mean, they're both in their 70s. My mom now has heart problems, and I have higher cholesterol, which I'm not sure. They keep freaking me out about the cholesterol, and I am scared of it because they want me to go on a statin, and my mom has, AFib, and anyways, I just, I need to re-educate myself on the cholesterol piece of this. But I have issues that are similar to my parents, long-term obesity. And so I looked into gastric bypass. I looked into those options, not covered by my insurance at all. So, if you want to do it, fork over 10 grand. And I'm like, okay, well, not an option. And it's like every time you want some help, you really want to do it. And everyone, I'm so frustrated about hearing this too. Everyone's like, well, just do the hard work. And I'm like, it is so much more than that. And the hard work is hard work. Obviously, I'm doing this. And you know what? I'm pretty confident right now that this is going to work. And I have to stick with it. But I'm so frustrated that there are tools out there that might help people. I'm probably not big enough to alter, the physicality of my body by doing gastric bypass, but the semaglutide would have been something that could have been very helpful and given me a little bit more of that boost. So, may take longer, or maybe not. I mean, maybe the struggle is real when I'm stressed, and it's the issue of the cravings. I really would like some help with that, and the concern for binge eating when that craving, when you lose that battle. And I'm so scared of that. And I know I don't need a drug. I mean, I'm telling myself you don't need a drug, you can do that, but man, white knuckling it is really a struggle. And right now I'm going to keep white knuckling it when I struggle with those cravings, but I wish I didn't have to. I wish I had some help with that, and being told that I, can't. So, super frustrating. But anyways, I just thought I'd share that. So I guess this is day 9, part 2. It's just, a vision of, what's wrong with so many things. But people can't afford to do this. And the thing is, to be perfectly honest, it doesn't need to be as expensive as it is, and we all know that. We do. We all know that, but it's for profit. And I understand profits are turned back into the companies, and they are used to develop other drugs. And I don't mean to be cynical, but, it's to create other drugs that can be something that people really, really want, and then they're going to charge exorbitant prices for those drugs too. So health comes at a cost, big time. So, but I say all that to say I was able to talk to my doctor today. At least my insurance is good enough that I was able to talk to my doctor today for the whopping cost of $25. And she's willing to work with me, and we're gonna talk, but I really don't think that I'm going to be investing $500 and some odd at the lowest to put into, a medication to help me lose weight. I have lost weight. We're about halfway through this week. So only a few more days until we see what week 2 says. I cannot let this frustration get to me. I've been eating clean, and frankly, I just need to spend some time kind of thinking it through, and I need to spend some time in prayer, because I need my spirit to be calmed, and I know that God has a plan, and I know that He's in control. So I'm not going to let myself, get bent all out of shape. But I'm not going to lie, I'm frustrated. And that's okay. Frustration is a real emotion. And I'm experiencing it right now. And I called my husband to talk to him about it. And he is so sweet to listen to me for even the 2 or 3 minutes that he did. But he was literally right about to go into an appointment. And it kind of just really... I wanted that verbal hug, and I wasn't able to get it because he was busy. But I think I need a good cry. So this part of the journey, you get it. It's real. And documenting it for prosperity. Anyways, I think I'm going to sign off, and I'll probably see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye.